We're gonna have a little look at cable. It's looking pretty good. Hi, welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Langers. I am the overgrown child that is the Scruffy Trader. Wonder what gives you that idea. What I'm trying to do is kind of put trading in the real world. Maybe show you a trick or two along the way. That sounds good? Please click the little subscribe button and we'll crack on. So what are we doing today? Well, the first thing I'm doing today is getting a coffee. Because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee. And Winky over here is not doing her job. She should be supplying me with coffee and looking like that.
Well, hello. Ding dong.
I've been trying all year to get that bikini on her, and she's having none of it.
Is that right?
Let's find out. Okay.
It's too cold for something like that.
Yes? No? What do you mean it's too cold?
It's freezing.
Means your best attributes stick out. Sorry, that was almost X-rated there. Almost.
Matron, take them away. Oh.
But I tell you what isn't X-rated, and that's the charts. Let's have a little look, see what I'm looking at. It's quite a good markup today. Because it's very strong direction, and I'll show you for why. It really is quite a simple setup. It's all nicely marked out. You can see there is a mega uptrend. You know, you can't deny it. All right, I'll just drop a couple of trend lines on for you. You know, I'm not a lover of trend lines because I find them too subjective. And what I mean by that is a trend, you can put it there like so, but there's no real structure to it. You know, it doesn't happen like this all the time. And you can have them quite wide and one thing or another. Because what if I put a trend line here? And I'll just show you what I'm driving at. See, there across to there. It changes too much is what I'm getting at. So you set your trend here and here, but now we've got another one over here, and it's just they're just horrid. But what you can use them for is to frame your price a little bit like this. Make a channel, okay? And if you can see that, you can kind of see where it pushes up to, where it pushes down to. Now the overall trend on this on the daily is to the upside, and we can see that here. And it's pushing, and it's got a good way to go up to there. Now I prefer support and resistance lines, horizontal. But what this is showing me is it's kind of in the middle, so it can creep back down, move up, just like so. Okay. Drop it down to a 4 hour and let's have a look, see what we've got. Well, what it's shown us is for the last 8 hours, it's been on a royal buy. Brilliant. Now that can continue because as you can see, it's done it many times before. Okay. But that tail at the top is telling me that this is pushed and it could roll over a little bit and then continue up. Okay. So if I put it down to the hour, now I've marked everything out. It's caught between these two zones. All right. I know the overall trend is up. All right. So when I'm looking to place a runner, it'll be when I'm trading the long side. And that's the idea of why I showed you those trend lines. It's kind of just a clear visual representation of the direction of the market. Up. So if I'm counter trending, which is what this looks like it's doing, I'm wanting this to come back to around this area here. Okay. And why is that? Well, it's because it's had a cluster point there. Okay, and then I can put some other orders down here as well because it's topped out there. And as you can see, it's pushed up, it's moving. There has to be something has to give from time to time. So what I've done is I've put in my support and resistance. I've put some zones in to contain the price, which is here. I looked for a logical stall point prior to this, which is here. Okay, and this is something I brought up earlier on this morning, and I'll show you guys. Bear with me a second. There we are. Talking with the telegrams earlier on today and sort of what we have on Discord for the scruffs. And there it is there. Trade idea for cable, where I'd marked out the zones, etc. And that was 10 to 11. Okay. And that's what we do. If I see something, I'll quickly make a video for them. I'll tell you what it is. I'll go in depth as to why I'm taking the trade. And then it's up to the guys to follow it or follow their own trades. It's not a signal service. It's just an idea. And my idea is this is coming back over on itself. So it's now 11. So I drop that down onto a 5-minute chart. Pull it down to there somewhere. Let's have a look. Just so I can show you the time, guys. There it is there. There's the candle. It's the 11 o'clock candle. Okay, 18th of Feb. Now, the other market that I was looking at earlier on today was the euro dollar, but it's still got a good way to go just yet. So this is what's interesting me, and this is the trade for today. So what I'm waiting for it to come down and sort of close. I want to see a close in this zone here. Soon as it closes in there, I think we are pretty much good to go. So might have a little bit of a wait, and I'll quickly just move this back to the hour and I'll explain what the zones are, and then I'll run the trade. These two here just define the trading area between two support and resistance. This is a logical stall point, and you can see around this area it has been up and stalled before. This is a logical entry area. Again, you can see it there, and it's a nice zone. And then you come down to a target area, again, stall point, logical, and then you see how far you can get it to go down. Looking for 10 to 20 pips. Well, put your drawing tool on. If I get in at the last minute and get out before it even gets there, there's 13, so that's halfway. There's 20 into the middle of that green zone, so it is doable. It's based on a break of this block. Okay, I use various tools. Fibonacci is a good one. It's an excellent way to measure out your trades. And as you can see, it's still not quite cooked, but it's having a battle, which is why I want to see a break. Okay, so I'll pause it now, and I'll come back to you when it's ready to go, and we'll take it from there.
Well, we're waiting.
Okay, guys, so been a bit of a wait. It's now just after 2:30. If I just flash that onto there, you can see 18th, 2:30 candle. And I've had to change the parameters slightly because I've been watching it throughout the morning and up into this afternoon. And you just readjust your targets till you're getting to a good point. And it's something that I've sort of just been discussing earlier on.
No way!
Now what we can see, came up to here. I wanted to see what was going on. It pushed through, pushed through, pushed through. It's tried to get up to that level. It's now failed, and it's finally come into an area that I want to trade in. So now's the time to pop our little trade on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're working off the base of this. We're going to initially open up three orders, all in the same place. Okay. I'll explain that in just a second. There we go. Right. So what I've done is, I've been watching this all morning, and you'll constantly hear me talk about patience. Now, we have our zones here and here. So I know the price is contained between these two areas. I wanted some logical entry and exit points. Well, this section here, the middle section, like you're seeing in green, is kind of the midpoint between these two. So I'm looking to enter up here, here, or here. But I need a confirmation, and that's what this is. And then from there, I'm looking for a reasonable target to basically make some money, is the easiest way to say it. Okay. Now, as the price came out of this green zone, I needed to see if it will test another zone. Well, it tried to get to this one, which then meant I had to move up my entry. And that's the beauty of making the price come to you. Because if I just gone gun-ho and decided to dive straight in when it got here, it's actually very dangerous, and it's very difficult to time it just right. So you wait. And now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to change the targets, but I'm going to edge up the orders just ever so slightly behind the current price, because as long as that's staying in this zone, I'm quite happy to enter the market. But as I was just saying, I want the price to come to me. If I don't let the price come to me and I just jump in like I would have done down here earlier on, when I posted this up on the Telegram group earlier on, if you bear with me, I'll show you what time it was and I'll kind of remind you. Did that one 20 past? That is there. 10 to 11 was when I started talking about cable, and it's now 2:30. So it's taken a long time to get to where you want, and that's the thing with trading. Most people think trading is just a doddle. You're in and out all the time, in, out, in, out, in, out. It doesn't work like that. Scalping is a nightmare. It's fun, but it's not really sustainable. Look for 1-2 good setups a day. Be patient, and it will pay off. And that's kind of what we're doing here. And it's what makes me consistent. I never chase markets. I just analyze on a morning. I look for the best opportunity. I have a strength sheet that gives me a good gauge, not for direction, for movement. So I can see if there's any movement. And then I'll just wait. Simple as that. And that's exactly what you're seeing here. I've waited, well, a good 3.5 hours just for it to get to the right point. And the idea is it'll come in, it'll tag me straight into target, and that'll be it. Get my wages. But the idea of the 3 stages is this. I'm wanting it to get to this green area. Now, it may well come, bounce, go back up. Now, if it takes out that first order of 5 and then comes back up, I'll just put it back in. 2 bites of the cherry, if you like. If it comes and takes the 10 out and then goes back up, I'll put that back in as well until it hits the 15. So I'm catching the bounces. But what I'll also be looking to do is once it gets to the 15, 20 pips, that will pretty much be it, because the greater trend is in the opposite direction. So I'm just trying to get in, get a bit of money out of it while it's having a bit of a breather. And then once it's unwound itself a little bit, we'll be looking to go to the long side, okay, as a continuation trade. But I don't think that'll be today. So let me just run this out and I'll come back to you at the end. And there we go. Job done and complete. It's been an interesting trade. It's paid me my salary, which I'll show you now. There you go. And you'll have seen that this bit got split up. Okay, and I'll tell you for why. It was a simple decision, really. I wanted to go from zone to zone. And I kind of wanted to see if it would push right down, but my idea was as soon as it breached back out of the green, there could be a little bit of a change in sentiment. You can kind of see it a little bit here. And because I'm day trading, I want to be in and I want to be out. I'm not trying to hold this for a long period of time. So all I did was I took most of the trade off and left a little bit to run. Because if it didn't return and it just kept on pushing through here and worked its way down, it would have given me a little bit extra. And that's kind of why you see me scale in and out of things all the time. And the initial setup was to catch the bounce, which it caught, let it retrace back up, reset it, put those little orders back in again so that when it came down to its main point, it would pick them up again. It's just simple money management and it pays off. It's what you see me do every day, all the time. And that's it, guys. Been a nice easy trade this afternoon. It's taken quite a bit longer than I thought. I thought I might have come into play around midday, 1 o'clock, but I had to wait a little bit longer. And that's why I tell you guys patience is key all the time. Just wait for the right time. And if the conditions change, as long as your price is contained between 2 major support and resistance zones, you know where it's going to stay. You can adjust your entry point and your target point to suit based on the price action. For me, I trail behind the price and make the price come to me. If it breaks an area, I'll wait to see if it's going to test another zone and then I'll alter the entry point appropriately. Simple as that. And the last part of the trade was an 8 EMA that I was just using to trail the stop. You know, keep the stop behind it because if it's going to rattle down, it just means I'm not giving as much profit away. And I didn't have runners in it too much just because I'm going against the greater trend. Hope that all kind of makes sense. Hope so. And happy days. So as always, guys, do what you love. The money will follow. See you all in the next one.